Okay. So assignment 2 was basically this. Like there were two main questions. The first one, let me see. Yeah, the first one was about relational data modeling. So there is this conceptual ER diagram, and you are supposed to translate this into relational diagram. So that was the first main question. And the second main question was designing a query. So there are nine small questions here, and you're supposed to design SQL query for each of the questions. So that was the main question. So so for the first one, let me show the solution of how we can translate this into relational model first. Basically for this one, you may do it either using Lucid chart or using MySQL ER diagram editor. So either was fine. So I show you the solution, the sample solution of both of them, so that we can be on the same page, and you will exactly know how it will look like on the like Lucid chart, like in the relational model, and how it will look like when we actually um, did it on the MySQL. Okay, so first of all, yeah, let me show you how we can translate this into a relational model. The first one is this. So when we have a conceptual ER diagram like this, there is an entity and the relationship. So the first of all, we have to translate all the entities into table. So that was the first one. So currently here we have a semester, professor, permit, and course entity. So we are going to first make four tables corresponding to each of them. So I can start from the semester because it's there. So I can create the semester table here. Like this. And semester table has a primary key, which is a semester ID. And it has an attribute like a year term number. So we can put it here, year term number. And one of the attribute is a courses per semester, which is a aggregated field. So for aggregated field, you don't need to worry too much about how it is calculated. We just put it here. So we can put it here, courses per semester, like this. So that's the semester entity. And then we have to design also the professor entity. So let me create here. Like this. And for this one, primary key is staff ID. And there's name, office, email, phone number. So name, office, email, phone number as attributes. There's also courses taught as another attribute. So courses taught is basically the number of course each professor teach. And then there's course entity. So we can create a course table here. So for this one, there's a primary key, which is a course ID. So course ID is primary key. And the course name, time, location are attributes. Course name, time, and location, like this. And then the last one is a permit entity. So we can create a permit table here. Permit table, which has primary key of a permit number and lot and space number information, like this. So we made all the entities into tables first, like this. Okay, like this. Let me, yeah. Okay. And the next thing is this. So now we have to make a relationship into we have to establish the relationship using the foreign key, or if we have a many-to-many relationship, we have to make an assignment table. So let's just start from the O-first relationship. So O-first relationship is basically a many-to-many relationship between professor and semester entity. So basically, because it's a many-to-many relationship, we have to create that as assignment table in the relational model here. So basically, we are going to make O-first table here as an assignment table, and it's connected with the semester and professor. So it's a main-to-main relationship. So we are going to use semester's primary key and professor's primary key as primary key in this assignment table. So basically, semester ID and staff ID will be here, and together we are going to use them as primary key of this assignment table. And then whether there are any attributes for this relationship, yes, we have courses offered the attribute here, so we can include that here, courses offered as attribute. And then we link it, so semester ID, the same field should be linked together, and here staff ID, the same field should be linked together. And for the cardinality, from the semester's point of view, it was many and zero, so we put it there. And also from the professor's point of view, it was the same, zero and many, so put it there. And then for the rest of the part, we simply put 1 and 1 because it's assignment. When there is assignment, there should be corresponding record, one corresponding record in each of the table. So that was offers relationship. And the next one is a teach relationship. So teach relationship is ternary relationship, and maximum cardinality is one, many, many. So there are more than one, many cardinality. So we can consider this as many-to-many relationship. That means that we have to create an assignment table for this teach relationship. So we make a table here for teach relationship. And then primary key will be connected entity with maximum many cardinality. So currently, teach relationship is connected with the semester entity and course entity by using maximum many cardinality. So basically, semester's primary key and course entity's primary key, which is a semester ID and course ID, will be put here, and they will both be used as a primary key of this table, basically. And it's also connected with the professor entity, but the maximum cardinality was 1. So in that case, we are going to put staff ID here, and we are going to use that as a foreign key, but not as a primary key. So there are not any additional attributes for this relationship. So now we can connect this. So staff ID connected here, course ID connected here, and the semester ID should be connected here like this. So from the semester's point of view, the other relationship, it was connected with a minimum 0, maximum many. So it was this. From the course's point of view, same. Minimum is 0, maximum is many. And from the professor's point of view, same. So we put it here. And for the rest of the cardinality here, we put 1 and 1 like this to define the relationship. So yeah, that should be for teach relationship in this case. Okay, the last one is the relationship between professor entity and the permit entity. So this one is one-to-many relationship. So it's not many-to-many. So we don't need to create another table for this relationship. So when you have a one-to-many relationship, the rule is this: one side entity's primary key should be put into many sides entity as a foreign key. So one side is a professor, many side is a permit. So professor's primary key, which is a step ID, should be put into permit entity as a foreign key. So basically, we'll put step ID here, and we'll use that as a foreign key. So we simply connect this is step ID into this. And the cardinality, we can use the same thing. So here 0 many, and here was 1 0 like this. So that's it. So this one is actually not that difficult actually. So yeah, basically this is the final sample solution for this question 1 in assignment 2. So the thing is this. So relational modeling is actually quite straightforward. So as long as your conceptual ER diagram does not have any problem, you can simply just simply follow the rules of translating conceptual ER diagram into relational model. Then you will have a relational model work done basically. So it's quite straightforward and it's quite simple. Okay, so now let me show you how we can actually implement this. How we can draw this in the MySQL. So let me go to that part. So some of you may did this on the MySQL. Then yeah, let me show you how you can do. So let me close this first. Okay, let me put this in the middle. Okay. So first of all, let me open the MySQL workbench. So while I'm going through it, if you have any question, you may just use the Zoom chat box and ask me, or you can just use your mic to ask me. So either way is fine. Then I answer to your question. So first of all, I should go here and go to this one, ER diagram editor, and create a new model. Okay, and let me double click add diagram. And here, let me create basically exactly the same thing. So basically, we can make the table for the entity first, which is starting from the semester. So I can add a table. And then for table name, I can change it to semester. And for the column name, we have a semester ID, which is integer. And the year should be number, so it should be integer. So in the physical implementation, here you have to also define what will be the data type. And then term number is there, so term number. So this should be also integer. So it will be either 1, 2, 3 like that. So integer. And the course per semester. So this is also number. So without any decimal point. So let me choose integer again for this one. Okay, so that is a semester table here. And let me create another one, which is a professor table. So right click on it, edit table, change the name into professor. And staff ID as primary key with the integer data type. And we need the name here and office information. So just use the character. And then email, phone number, courses, taught. So basically it's the number of courses taught, right? So this one should be integer because it will be number. So it's here. And then another, we can make the course table here. For the first field, it can use course ID. I just change it into character. just 10 character. That should be fine. And then course name, time. So for this one, I can choose like a time data type. Date time might be better. Let me see. This one, date time. And then location, which is just character. So yeah, that's it. And then here I can add one more table, which is a permit. So edit and change the name into permit. So the first column is permit number. I can just use it integer and the lot information and space number. So it should be number data type, and the last one is oh, okay. So let's do like this for now. Let me see. Oh yeah, the last one we should remove. Delete. Okay. So basically, yeah, I will have this for tables here, and now I have to create a relationship. So for the main-to-main relationship, you can use this option, right? So there are multiple options you can utilize here in MySQL to make a relationship. And let's just say that when I create a main-to-main relationship, if I want MySQL to create the assignment table automatically, I can simply use this option, which is place a new identifying relationship. So I can use this, and I need to make assignment table between the offer relationship first. It's between professor and semester. So click professor, click semester, then this will be made and it's linked correctly, right? So basically, just to remind you again, the notation here, like the icon key, the icon symbol, there's a key symbol here, right, for primary key. So it's slightly changes, so it's different from the slide. But if the field is primary key, we will see this yellow icon here. And if the field is primary key, and at the same time it is a foreign key, then we'll not see anything here. There's no icon. And regular attributes, we have this blue diamond. And if the attribute is foreign key, we will see red diamond. So that's the basic thing. Okay, so in this table, we can right click and we can go to edit. Then you will see that currently here you will see the yellow key symbol correctly, right? So professor just step ID and semester just semester ID is used as primary key in this table. So that's correct. We just need to add one more attribute. So let me go to the edit table again. I'll change the name of table into offers, and let me add one more attribute here, which is courses offered, and change the data type into integer, like this. Okay, so that's done. So that's done for this one. And next one is a teacher relationship. So basically, it's again main-to-main relationship. So in this case, we are going to use a semester ID and course ID as primary key. So basically, oh yeah, the cardinality. Yeah, so yeah, I didn't change the minimum cardinality here. So to change the cardinality, you can right click on the relationship and go to edit relationship. And here, yeah, I mentioned this last time, but underneath here, there's a foreign key tab, right? When you go edit relationship, underneath there's a foreign key tab. So you can go there and you can change the minimum cardinality. In this case, it's yeah, it should be like this. And we can do the same thing for this one. So here, yeah, I can make it like this. So basically, to change the minimum cardinality, you may check or uncheck this mandatory option here or here, which side you want to change. So that's all. Okay, and for the next relationship, which is a teach relationship, so their semester ID and course ID is used as primary key because semester and course entity were connected by many cardinality. So basically between this and this, we have to create many-to-many relationships. So we can use the same thing. I can use this, place a new many-to-many relationship. So I can click that, and I can click semester and course. Okay, then we created this many-to-many relationship between these two, but it also needs to be connected with the professor's staff ID, but not, but the maximum cardinality of professor entity was 1. So basically, we have to add this into here as a foreign key. So what we can use is this option. So this option, which is place a new one-to-many non-identifying relationship. So I explained the difference between non-identifying and the identifying relationship last time. So if you use non-identifying, basically when you make a relationship, one side as a primary key will be added into another as foreign key. If you use identifying relationship, once the table of one table's primary key will be added into another table as also primary key. So that's the main difference. So in this case, we want to add a step ID as foreign key. So we are going to use one-to-many non-identifying relationship. And click this one, semester has course first, and click professor. So basically you have to select the table that you want to add foreign key into first, and then click another table which contains foreign key basically. Then you will see that professor's staff ID is added here as a foreign key. Right click on it and go to the edit. So let me change the name of the relationship here. Okay, so yeah, for the cardinality, so I can also change it. So go to edit relationship of each, go to the foreign key tab, and here, yeah, you can change it, the cardinality like this. Okay, so that's correct. Okay, and the last one is this. So last one is actually simple. So we just need to add a one-to-many relationship between professor and permit. And basically we want to add a step ID into permit table as a foreign key. So we can use this one again, one-to-many non-identifying relationship, and choose a permit and choose a professor. Then professor's step ID will be added here as a foreign key. And then we can change the relationship cardinality, uncheck mandatory for both of them to make it like this. So yeah, I think that's all. That's all for the assignment 1. So if you use lucid chart, then you will have something like what I draw on the top right corner here on the whiteboard. And if you use the MySQL ER diagram editor, your diagram should look like this, basically. Okay, that's all. Any questions on any questions on this first part of question for the assignment 2? Okay, if we don't have any question, let me show you the answer for the query 2, the part 2. So let me close this. So I don't need to save it. So let me close. Okay. So for the part 2, so I actually put the solution here on this PDF file. So later I will upload this on the Blackboard so you can check it. So here question 1, the sample solution is this. Also the one thing different is this. So here you can see this red key icon, right? So in the previous version of MySQL, they showed this. When a field is a primary key and at the same time foreign key, they showed the red key icon. But I think somehow after MySQL updated, they don't show this icon anymore. So, but it's fine. As long as it's set as primary key and it's also working as a foreign key, then it's fine. Yeah. So for the question two, basically you have to design the query, but I'll not go through one by one because it may take too much time. So instead of that, I simply put the sample solution for each of the query question here together with the query results. So in the later, maybe you can compare this sample solution against what you designed by yourself to check whether you did it correctly or not. So basically, yeah, that's it. There are multiple queries you have to design.